Today we're going to be discussing RefWorks. Whether you're a faculty member that's doing your own research, working with students that you want them to share folders with you on their projects, or if you have a class that wants to use RefWorks, you'll have a better understanding of how to use it today. Not only will it allow you to save resources within the database, but it also allows you to upload PDFs as well as get back to the library research. And as well, you can also embed it into Google Docs or Word when you're writing your papers or research. So to get started, you may not have an account created. So if you go to LibGuides or Library Guides, you can type in RefWorks and get to this guide right here, which the URL is libguides.unf.edu/refworks, which is a shortened title. Once you get to the library homepage, to get your account started, you're going to click on Login, and if you don't have a RefWorks account, don't be worried. They're easy to create. You go to Create Account here at the bottom of this white box, and you'll enter either your alias at unf.edu if you're a faculty member or staff member, or your N number at unf.edu. Check, and then the process will take you through the steps. Once your account is created, you're good to go. So you can see here that my account's created with my email and my password that I created. The password does not change unless you change it. So that's something important to remember. And you don't ever need to worry about the use login from my institution. That will not be necessary. Depending on the database that you're going to use, we'll start off with OneSearch. This determines how RefWorks is importing the resources into your RefWorks account. So if we look at OneSearch, I'm just doing a search on critical thinking and education. You'll click the gold bar under single sign-on so that you get the full access to the library. And let's say I just have an article that I want to download. So I'm going to limit this to available online and peer-reviewed journals and apply filters. And this should all seem somewhat familiar to you. And so you're going to simply do one thing. To get the article into your RefWorks account, you click there, and then you click RefWorks, and you'll notice the two databases that are available. So you can click RefWorks here. You're going to log in one time, and once you log in, as long as you don't close that browser, it'll be fine. And you click import, and once you see the import complete, you can see it is last imported. Now, the nice thing about this is that this is permanent. Unless you go through and delete the item from your records, like I'm going to do now, just so you can see, you don't have to actually worry about the resource being deleted from your RefWorks account. Once you click on it, you can see that we can get right back to OneSearch and the record itself, where we can get the article from the database. Now, there are some things to think about. So the first thing off is a lot of professors wonder what you do to get citation styles. So to create a bibliography, if you just want a list of sources, you check off the boxes individually, hit create bibliography, hit create bibliography again, and I have this set up to be APA 7th. Now, they're not always perfect, I will tell you that. For instance, you can see here this third resource is not actually cited correctly, but it will save you some time in having to type everything perfectly out. So you can just go in and create the lowercasing of the letters. But generally speaking, it does give you a good beginning. If we changed it to MLA 9th, it's this simple to set it up, and you want to make sure you're following your publishers or see how that happens, the errors. You want to make sure your publishers or whatever your class are teaching, you're using the citation style accordingly. And whatever you leave it at is the style that the database will remember. So I'm going to put it at AP 7th Mine. That's where I wanted it to be. And you can literally just close it out and we're good to go. What if you have a database, though, that's not OneSearch? So we see that there's an EBSCOhost option here. So this is education source. So I'm going to go in just to show you the different ways of getting a resource in. So in this case, let's say we just want to get this database. We're using education source, not using OneSearch. We see the little white piece of paper with a green arrow. We're going to direct it to RefWorks and hit save. And I'm going to put this into a folder. So what I'm doing there is I created folders, and I'll show you that in a moment. But that folder is right there. So what is on the panel on the left? So first of all, the sharing option. This is something a lot of faculty do. They share folders when you're writing an article with a colleague from our institution. So if you look here, I have a mentorship folder. We can easily move items directly in to that folder. So I'm going to move that into the no folder. If I wanted to share this with, say, jennifer.murray@unf.edu, and I'm just going to do can read. If you put it as can annotate, they can make comments. If they put it as can modify, they can edit, which means they can delete or erase those items. And hit share folder and done. And then you will see the people who will show up next to that folder. So what is the benefit of having folders, you may wonder? Well, first of all, that way you can keep track of which article you're using, which chapter or what part of the article you're using it in. Here we're using the same article twice, right? So we can go in, and I'm going to delete that because you don't want to have delete duplicates, of the same article in that same folder. The other thing you can do is you can also go in and create your all references as one. So this is all the references that I've ever downloaded for any professor that I've worked with. Some other things you want to be aware of is the option of going into a folder, going to find it, and then you can actually download this item. And then what you can see, there's now Interlibrary 1. So you can actually go in and go to find it at UNF. You can, if you have Adobe, you can actually modify the article by highlighting or doing something like that. So I'm going to go into the EBSCOhost folder. I'm going to download the article. And what you won't see this behind the scenes, but I'm going to just download this to my desktop. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to RefWorks, and for that item, let's say I want that article back into right here. So you'll see it drop the folder. It's that simple. And now the PDF is being uploaded into RefWorks. So if you want to have a backup copy, this is what you would do it before. On the right side, there's a lot of information as that downloads. You can see it. You have the DOI, you have the journal title, all that bibliographic information that librarians catalog for you. So why would you want to download? So this is the case in which maybe you're teaching a class and you want to make sure that you have that PDF just in case the library loses access to the database or the article. You can have that PDF show up and download it for your own purposes right there, and you're all good to go and done to download and put it into Canvas. Another thing that's really nice about this database and tool, I should say, is you can click Tools option and then the Tools option again. And what I'm going to do now is hit Install Save to RefWorks. And this is when it's kind of a game changer. You can hit Save to RefWorks. You can see that icon shows up at the top. It works on both PCs and Macs. It's whatever browser you're using. I'm using Firefox currently. But let's say we were going to go out of the RefWorks completely, and we'll go to Google Scholar. So pardon my typing for a moment. And let's say I'm looking at critical thinking and epistemology. And I'm just going to hit enter. And you want this item to be added to the resource. So if I click on the title of this, this is a simple way of getting the item back into RefWorks. So we're going to click Save to RefWorks at that icon that we dropped into our favorites toolbar. And it can be a little bit wonky, meaning that sometimes you have to add some of the information yourself, but it's sometimes with websites, like for example, it will allow you to just drop it right in. So just for a moment, I'm going to go away from that, and I'm going to go into google.com and put in education and critical thinking, and I'm just going to make that database work a little bit harder. So what if we wanted, for instance, the critical thinking in the classroom, and we wanted this to be added to RefWorks? So what we're going to do is put our login that we created. And you can see here that this is an example. This is why I wanted to show you. It is a little bit trickier. It's showing it's an ERIC journal document. So we're going to go back to Google just to get a website. Let's see if it'll pull this one. So you never really know basically if it's going to read it, the software. But if you do, if you're lucky enough, yeah, see, there we go. It hits Save to RefWorks. And I'm going to put it in the No folder. You can see how easy it is to drop things into the folder. And then View in RefWorks, so we can double check to make sure, right, that it's right there for you. So why is RefWorks also good? I mean, you might also wonder, like, okay, so it's great, it's a storage facility, because basically when you're creating your account, you can do it so easily. The other option would be to bring it into Word. So I'm going to bring up Word now. And I should say, when you're looking at the resources available to you, like for instance, Social Science Premium Collection, just to show you a different interface, because every interface is a little bit different to get things into RefWorks. So this is a ProQuest database. They're the creators. In this case, to get this article into RefWorks, you'll hit all options, and then you'll see here RefWorks is listed, and you can bring that right in there for you. And it does look a little bit different, right? It looks a little bit different, but we can see, we can put not in folder and import that same article in it from a different database. So they all are a little bit different, but there it is right there for us. One other thing I should show you is just like a random database list, right? So if we bring up, say, CINAHL, or that's an EBSCOhost database, so maybe not. We'll bring up, let's say, Films on Demand. So one of those streaming media, because I'm trying to give us a challenge, right? So I'm going to go to streaming video. There we go. And why don't we try Films on Demand and just see what happens? So I'm just going to randomly pick a video. And this is kind of like why I wanted to show you, because it is a little bit tricky. When you hit site, see how RefWorks is right here. So I did that kind of quickly, but hopefully you caught that. And you import it. And now you have even like another type of video that is being used, another type of resource, pardon me. But going back to what we were saying, why is this great? So it's not just because we're using OneSearch or using our databases or using Google Scholar or using the web as we showed you. But in this case, if we click on a blank document, and a lot of times I use Microsoft Office 365. You can use Google, but I would highly recommend using Word 365 since the university pays for all faculty and students and staff to use it. So we're going to click on RCM. You saw that right at the top here. And then on the left, Reference Citation Manager. And you're going to see really quickly how easy this is. We're going to log in if it's not logged in. Mine somehow was already logged in. I'm going to go into my my folder. So I'm going to change all references to that one folder I was using, the no folder. So now I'm going to say this is cool. And I'm literally just going to hit cite this. It cites it perfectly, like a paraphrase. We could say, oh, oops, I did it again. Unquote, and then we'll put in the citation there. And pardon me if the quote isn't proper, but I'm just doing an example. And then let's say you forgot to do another article, paraphrase. So, okay, this is great. And I'm just going to keep on citing. Now, the great thing about this is you basically don't have to worry because the citations are done for you. So the three stripes here, right here, we click on them, you click on Bibliography On, and your citations are right there done for you. Then what I would say is when you're using this resource, when you're writing your paper, turn it off. It's only when you are not in the writing stage that you would turn it on. So when you're all done with your paper, you can turn it off and on. You can write while you're going. I'm not sure what the header, why the ruler just, let me get that back over there. There we go. So this still works. So let's see if we make a difference here. I'm just going to take this article right here. There we go, Preston. And you can see it still will add that right in there for you. So that's RefWorks in a nutshell. Remember that like everything that you're doing in RefWorks is going to be standalone, right? So it doesn't matter if you're using OneSearch, awesome. If you want to use the database list, let's say you're using an accounting class, and you're using ABI Inform. Everything is a little bit different based on the databases that you're using. So if we use a word like RFID, and I'm just going to do a search, you can see here that you can sometimes get a database that just quickly, all options, RefWorks, and you're inside the RefWorks database again. I highly recommend that if you haven't ever worked with this tool, make an appointment with one of the librarians that can all teach you how to use it. If you have any questions or concerns. If you have questions or concerns, reach out to us. Showing you where that LibGuide was to get started. Again, you can either go at the top under Library Guides or scroll down to the bottom where the icon is and just literally type in RefWorks. And it'll take you to any of these to get started. It is such a useful tool. The institution pays for it. You are, as a faculty member or as a staff member, using it on a regular basis. It will save you so much time. And if you integrated it with Word 365, it will really change everything that you think about with research. So I hope this was helpful today. Again, if you ever have a question regarding this, please come to the library or ask in a consultation here. You can book with, you can see here with RefWorks citation assistants. Maria, Danny, Lauren, Sarah, and Burl are all available to help you with this. It is a normal thing. I would typically book a 60-minute consultation just in case you need more time to ask questions. The 30 minutes is fine, but really most of the time you might need 35-40 minutes for extra help. So thank you so much for today, and I look forward to seeing you. And don't forget, we have RefWorks Cert Event roundtables that you can come and watch as well and participate in, so you can ask your questions live with the librarian. Thank you so much.